Fuck these motherfuckers. Oh, let me press the button. All right. It is your flagship show. We've been doing this for 8 years. It is JHP Spotlight here on JLJ Media. AfterBuzz TV is dead. Hi, I'm James Law Jr.
R.I.P.
Here with who's person who's dead inside, but alive and kicking, Frank Moran.
Oh, James, I can't think of anything better for my eyes than to see you on a Sunday afternoon.
And I'll take it. Welcome, Frank. We are here to talk about what happened in Port Charles last week. A bunch of things happened in Port Charles last week. We're going to talk about it. But first, before we do that, as you guys pile in, this is our number one show, Frank. Our number one show.
Yes.
They audio and video. You guys are just amazing to us. We'll take it. We did Wide R. We did Bold and Beautiful. And they're both out there. And I'm telling you something. You guys are crazy. And we love it. And I put the wrong thumbnail in there. That's the wrong thumbnail too. Is that it? That's the wrong thumbnail too. Okay, why can't James find the right thumbnail?
Are you looking for the Lisa and Walter thumbnail? Was that?
Oh my God. No, I'm not using that thumbnail today. No, it's a different thumbnail. Yeah. It has to do with Curtis with half his shirt on. That's all because that happened this week. But anyway, so they're out now. Bone People Mini Spotlight, Wide R Mini Spotlight are out now, audio and video. Check them out at your local grocery. I don't know. They're out there, so it's good. Also doing When Calls to Hearts. So that's a Hallmark Channel. It's 10th season. It returns, featuring GH alum Jack Wagner, who plays Bill Avery. He's been on there for the whole 10 seasons. It's crazy. It's his older life.
Yeah, and I saw it got a exemption from SAG to keep filming.
So they're filming in Canada. And so we're trying to figure this out because they put a press ban, though. I can't have any guests. So we don't know what so they're trying to figure that out. So I can't have any of the actors on right now. So it's a press ban, but they can film season 11. So I don't. Yeah, it's crazy. It's this whole thing. I don't. Everybody. I want to clear something up to you. I know everybody's confused. So I just want to say it just one kind of last time. So ABC, Disney, when it comes to soaps, they have a different contract. So right now they call them FI-Core writers, but they're scabs. We'll call them scabs. Whatever names you want to use. They're writing the show right now. So they're writing the show right now because the actors still have to work. That's the basics of that, right? Frank, you got that? Right,
I did.
They're still working. Some of them are picketing with their friends because they're on their days off, but they still have to work. They have a separate contract. But the writers are with SAG, so they're not out of a job. They're just not working. The scabs are in and they're writing the shows. But General Hospital, to my knowledge, is almost run out of scripts. So it's going to be very interesting to see what actually happens in a month or so. There's some stuff going around there. So that's the basics. So that's why they're still filming. That's why they're able to do stuff. But they're still doing their thing. But it's a separate contract. It's a whole separate thing.
Which, is frustrating because I know like animation is also separate. Soap. So there's a lot of things that are separate that, from the outside, even from somebody that's in the inside, you're like, why aren't we just all on the same page with everybody and every kind of thing? But we aren't. So. Yeah, it's really frustrating.
And they feel for their friends who have to strike. So, it's not fun. So, but anyway, so yeah, FI-Core will pay into the union, but don't get full benefits, correct. But there are a lot of folks who don't like it as a whole. We won't get into all that. There's a whole thing about that. So it's kind of crazy, but they are still filming shows. Okay. That's the church announcement. Oh, Audition Days. They will be on, not live. Frank, they pre-taped their episode. And they will be addressing
fans to be.
I know. But they will be addressing the Alberta Law allegations. So check out our sister channel, Audition Days, my chocolate twin, Tony Moore. Check that out. So anyway, and thanks to all the folks who came to my soap Zoom yesterday. We talked it all out. Many of you guys are in the chat. We had a good soap scene. We talked it out. So thank you for that too. Okay, let's get into this. We're a little late today because there's so much to talk about on all these shows. A little late. Frank, I feel like this week we got some real surprises. And I was like, where'd that come from? Let's start with a Lulu scene with the original Charlotte back. And grown a little more grown up, and we didn't see Lulu, of course, but it was like, oh, what do you think about that, Frank?
Yeah, it is tough to know, with the 5 core writers in, how much they are just sticking to kind of pre-established storylines and trajectories, or do they really do have sort of carte blanche to kind of come in and tweak storylines, or move them up and accelerate them in different ways. So I don't know. So who knows if this was something that was already on the radar for the original writers before they left. I know we had our issues with Lulu, and as always, it's great to see when a show is not ready to commit, to get the great low angle, from the side shot where we can't really see anything. Could be anybody in that bed. Those are the best shots to have. But I will say, like you said, having the original Charlotte was great. I really liked that person when they were playing the role, and it was great to have her back. So that was nice. Yeah,
it's interesting. It was like, wow, okay, this is I'm like, they dug in for whatever. Like I said, I wasn't sure for what reason. We have no idea, but that was kind of a nice nod, I guess. We could use that. It's realistic. They said he go visit her. Because again, Laura has none of her children. It's kind of weird. 2 of her children are like, whatever. So I thought that's interesting to kind of go back to that and show that. So I don't know.
I mean, I feel like, soaps don't happen in a vacuum. Storylines don't happen in a vacuum, I should say. So if you're gonna put that kind of scene in there, then it's got to be leading to something.
Hopefully,
or at least starting to lay the little seeds to something that's going to take off. So, I know, like we've talked many times about our frustrations with the Spencer kids and lack thereof on the show, and just even when Lulu was on towards the end, just like, So, I would love if she does come out to give her just some better storylines and some better writing for that character.
I agree. Another thing we got, I was just surprised to get, because I thought she was on vacation or whatever, Lulu and Valentin.
Yeah.
In Russia.
I as soon as we saw Yuri show up earlier, I was like, whoa, all right, we're opening the door to the storyline much sooner than I thought we were going to be seeing.
Yeah, I was shocked. And Yuri, the full goatee. Him and Terry have been together a year.
I mean, I guess yes. It's the last quarter-rate fireworks extravaganza, or the last picnic. So which supposedly is coming anytime now.
Right. I totally forgot about that. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
It was the last time. That was when Ava was hooked too. So yeah.
Yes.
Great things afoot at the quarter-rate picnic.
Mm-hmm. So we had that. I was like a shocker that kind of came up. Nice to see them. We like Valentin and Laura, and the actor got to play all this stuff. The cast lines are evil and all stuff.
Spit on them.
He did. I was laughing so hard. I was like, "That's right." I was just like staying quiet. But those are two things I didn't expect. I was like, "Oh, okay, that's kind of okay."
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he got that house, but it's really done no upkeep on it at all. And then it just walks back into his messy house at the end, like, okay, well, good luck to you, but goodbye, and just leaves like, man.
That just goes out. We'll later. Okay.
James, you ready to fly to Russia? Help this guy out.
Let's do it. I'm ready to do it. I want to get into some danger. How about Laura? Of course, about Laura. So those are 2 nice little surprises. Just didn't see that. Okay.
I will say, to follow up on that, the only thing that bums me out, while it was great to see them, The only thing that's a bummer is that you know that whole thing is just a red herring. I mean, I'm hoping that there's something else that can come out of that storyline that at least gives Laura and Valentine something to do. Because if it's just like, oh, we went there and there was nothing there, and now we're just back in Port Charles, that was kind of like a little want.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I hope there's something else going on there. But again, we have no idea what they're going to write, so we have no idea what's happening. We don't know if, like you said, if storyline are going to follow something that's planned or they're going on their own. We have no idea. So that'll be the trick to follow this, I guess, Frank. So back up to the main storylines. The one that, of course, I'm going to say everybody saw. Okay. I see you guys in the chat talking about. I'm trying to figure out which one. Again, every show I'm like, where do you start? Each storyline is worse than the other. No. We'll start with Sasha.
Ugh.
I know. Let's go there, kids. Everybody on chat was already upset about it. Let's start with, because I'm like, do we start with Molly and Christina and all that? Do we start with Nina and Carly once again? Start with Willow and Michael. I mean, there's so many storylines. I'm like, you start with Curtis. I mean, there's so many things. I'm like, where do we go? There's no safe place to land. So we're gonna start with Sasha, because that seems like one that everyone's upset about. It's one of the few storylines I feel like I'm reading online, on Twitter and stuff. Everyone's upset about this storyline.
Yeah, that's true. There's nobody's going like, I'm loving this. This is what they're doing is great here. I've yet to see anybody come, even if there's like the lone post, like kind of defending the storyline. I've yet to see those. So
yeah, not at all. And I've seen everybody praising Sophia Matson's performance, of course, because she's acting the S out of it. But they've now made. See, Gladys was like mildly annoying, right? She was a mildly annoying character. Yes, she want money and stuff. She was a money grabber or whatever. But now it feels like she's crossed over into villain territory. Her and that doctor. So I don't know how we bring Gladys back from that. I just don't know. I feel like she's crossed over now into that, because now you know what's gonna happen, Frank. Cody's gonna find out. He's like, there's something wrong. I know there's something wrong. I know something wrong. I have a feeling he's gonna save her. Gladys and homeboy will go down. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, unless I can see if they have Gladys kind of have a change of heart at the 11th hour and says, I gotta, forget myself. I gotta take care of her. Maybe that's how they try to plant a seed of redemption in her. Personally, I mean, we all know I'm not a huge Gladys character fan, so I am fine with her if she wants to. If they want to just write her, flaming out. Sonny's like, leave Port Charles, or now, or you'll be leaving, in a body bag after what's happened with Sasha. So I'd be fine with if they want to just send Gladys packing.
Yeah, I mean, I love my Bonnie Burrows. I love her to pieces.
But it is typical GH for when they will have somebody do something horribly despicable, and then we have to watch them try to redeem that character.
That's true too. No, that's true too. She was in a tight spot because of the money, because of the gambling. But that doctor's just plain out evil. Like, I was like, wow, he went from 0 to 10 in evil.
But I still, so he just wants to just study Sasha, or just have her bound and tied up in Ferncliff. I don't quite know what his angle yet is. Just like, I want to just have her, in Ferncliff.
It's because we don't know. Yeah, we don't know fully. We don't know him at all. I mean, he's just some character that came on all of a sudden. They actually asked, it's crazy, and it's so over the top that people I've seen in the chat room, people are saying in line, seeing her in restraints. I think that's the whole point. They want to show us she's in a bad way. Like she's being like Carly was in the middle situation too against her will. I mean, like they want to show us that. I think is what they're trying to show us. They need somebody to save her. This is also a partly still redeeming Cody storyline too. I think it's both.
Yeah, I would agree with that. and I feel like they've been doing better with Cody in the Sasha storyline than they ever did with the Brit stuff. So
Yes. Yes, I agree with that. I what they're doing was just said. Cody came on, nobody liked him, and now they're trying to redeem him on some level. And where he is tolerable in some scenes, yes. I mean, when he showed up with your other buddies, Sam and Dante, the other favorites, I don't know. I just it's I buy Sam and Dante now on some level. I buy it. I mean, I get it's fine. They're together. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I don't not buy it. I guess okay, they're there. But it was kind of funny just watching their reactions to Cody. He was like a big disruptor for them.
well,
I mean,
yeah, they were about to, get their makeout on,
they
James.
sure were. They were getting started. And he came in, all messed up, of course, out of the hospital. I mean, I guess Dante and Cody's friendship doesn't bother me either, really. It doesn't really bother me, I guess. I mean, it's like I never hated Cody. I don't hate Dante. I don't hate Sam. I mean, I just like them all different stories. But now that because Dante's he's part of the Anna story too. That's something we'll talk about a little later. But like him and Sam, I'm fine with them. I'm fine with them. That's fine.
All right. So I will ask you if, because we've planted some sort of seed that
Yes.
Lulu could come back.
Yes.
How do you feel about a Lulu Dante reunion? Do you feel like they're like, are they kind of like an end game esque, like a Liz and Lucky or a Luke and Laura, where they've got to be together? Or before she went into her coma, did they do enough to kind of separate them after Dante's experiences and all that stuff too, that you're fine with them just both being alive and on canvas, but just not being together?
Well, some people already asked, come through Leslie Liu. I think if you get a different actress to play Lulu, I would be fine with Lulu coming back and Dante and Lulu getting back together. Sam go with Drew. That's what I want. I don't think Drew and Carly, I don't see anything there. Sam go with Drew. And then that covers everybody, I think. Yeah, it covers everybody. I think. Well, who's left out? Anybody left out?
Carly, where's Carly go?
Her and Sonny. You know it's going to happen. I mean, the Nina stuff's going to come out. Clearly, it's going to come out at some point. My daughter wanted me. We had such a great time together. Michael, what do you think? I'm like, all this stuff is like, ooh. I mean, like, they're making it so syrupy because the fall is going to be huge. It's going to be a gigantic fall from the top. It's going to totally come out. But Carly, I thought we were you're burying the hatchet. I just want to thank you for, and Carly's just like, I feel like Carly at them. I was like, oh, okay, great. Just seriously, like Nina, because giving Carly Kelly's totally makes sense. It's part of the family, Spencer family, totally get it. But having her and Nina, I thought of you just once again, having this conversation that doesn't forward storyline. And I'm like,
yeah, but it also feels like I don't know what the purpose of those is, just other than just to like, hey, remember at some point everybody's going to find out that Nina ratted on Carly and everything's going to come crumbling down. We got that already, GH. Unless you actually want to start showing us some of that, just consider everybody like in the know that's happening. So you can forgo any Carly Nina scenes until then, because they just read Nina like oblivious to like, oh, I thought now that I'd buried the hatchet with you, supposedly, that we could have like regular conversations. Like, no, that doesn't mean that the woman's gonna like you, Nina. She's just not gonna. They're just not gonna be like at each other's throats.
Yes, exactly. And we have to remember Nina's a little stunted in growth. I try to remind myself that she's a little stunted in growth.
Yeah, but I feel like I can't give that anymore. Like that. That's
break's done.
I'm done with that. I've been done with that for a while. It's like she's done so much that is no longer a viable excuse for any of her actions.
I just think that Nina she's stunted, and I disagree. I think she's never grown up. So all her actions to me are completely that's what she acts as from a kid point of view. And she never acts mature. Acts immature to me. She acts so immature to me.
If the whole Nixon Falls stuff never happened, maybe I could buy a world where it's still she's still stunted, but after her world came crashing down after Nixon falls, the fact that she's had no sort of emotional or even just real just any kind of growth to realize like, oh, I shouldn't be doing any of these stupid things again. Now get out of here.
I think we're saying the same thing, just different approaches. I think we're saying, I won't say the same. I mean, I was saying I agree with them. I mean, she's not grown. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
I think we're saying they're all Frank, but I think Frank and I are saying something similar. I'm agreeing with them on that. I almost think we're saying the same, but just differently. I think like we're coming to an approach to it. And I'm like, I agree with you. Everything you said, I agree with you. I'm like, that's exactly it. She hasn't learned anything. She's just been just. I mean, I hate to say, and Frank, shoot me in the face if I say this word again. Willow is kind of right. Oh, my heart hurts. My stomach hurts just saying that. She was kind of right. She just bulldozes her way through. That's what Nina does. And I said when Carly was like, I felt it. I was like, and Nina standing in the back of Kelly just standing there. I'm like, oh, I feel like Carly did. Like, I'm busy, bitch. I got things to do. I don't have time for this. I just want to thank you. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Nina, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Like she doesn't. And so everybody's agreeing with us together. I feel like we're just I think when Frank is saying he doesn't buy the stunted thing, I still think it's because of that. But either way, I think we both agree she hasn't matured at all.
Yeah.
And again, the writers won't write her. We said before, just make her either all-out villain or not. They keep teetering going back and forth, and it's not fun to watch.
Yeah,
that's the problem. It's not fun to watch.
Yeah, it's like because it's just like she keeps doing these terrible things, but it's like, oh, but was it terrible? I don't know. I mean, I was in a awkward situation. What was I supposed to do? I don't know. It's like, no, just commit, GH. Have her just be malicious, and that's fine.
Yes. And folks, I'm not saying I want Carly and Sonny. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, if we know how things usually work on this show, Nina is going to blow up. So folks, we all know that, right? Secrets always come out. It's going to come out. Sonny hates being betrayed.
Oh, yeah.
You know it. I mean, do I need to say any more, folks? So I'm not saying I want it, but I'm just saying it's then what happens? Where's Sonny? Who's Sonny going to be with? Not Olivia. Olivia's busy trying to get Ned back. There ain't nobody else on the canvas for her. It's Carly.
No, true. And it's a tough thing. It's like anybody you bring on, you just know they're just like a temporary, they're just a temporary person.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, I'm not folks in the I'm not making this shit up. I'm just saying this is what happens. You guys watch the show, you know I'm telling the truth. And again, I don't mind Sam and Dante. I'm just saying that if stuff starts to come out and things start to happen, there's gonna be some effects that are gonna happen to all kind of couples. So I don't know. I just think Brenda's not coming back, folks. She's not coming back for no long-term storyline. Vanessa Marcel's not coming back. Everybody wants her, but she's not. She may come back for a see-through again, but she's not coming back for no storyline. They can't pay her.
Is Brenda a character that can't be recast to you?
I think she can, but I don't think they want to recast her. I think GH knows what a property she is. I think on some level, there's a few of them they don't recast, right? There's some they do, right? They recast Lois and all that, but they never recast Ned. There's somebody they've never recast. I have a feeling, well, Ned wasn't recast a long time ago, but I mean, like since our boy Wally Kurt's been playing it. But I don't know. I just think they're not. I don't know. I'm just telling you. Cardi's betraying Sarah, keeping Dex a secret. Yeah, she's also doing it too. I mean, they're all doing stuff. And what you call it? And Sonny hates it also. But see, he didn't get. This is the storyline part that I was very happy about. I don't know how you feel about this, Frank. The Ava Carly stuff, very well done. And she confessed. He saw right through her. I'm like, thank you.
Yes,
he saw right through, and she said it. You got to prove Sonny's not dumb. So I gotta say, and he didn't get mad at Ava like mad. He wants to work it out. So I think with Ava and Carly, it's different than Nina. I think it's totally different.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I feel like Ava and Carly can't. I mean, they can still needle each other like
Yes.
nobody's business,
Yes.
but they do have that common connection of both caring about Avery,
That's
and
it.
so for that, they can come together at moments when they need to.
Yes. And Nina doesn't have that. Nina has no kids with him. That's a different story, folks. Nina has no Daisy Flower. That scene made me laugh when Carly came to pick up Avery, and they're at the Ava, they're kind of weird. She goes, oh, "Never mind," and she walked out. I laughed so hard. That was so funny. Oh my god, that was hilarious. Just like, never mind, and just like why? Because she knew something weird was going on, and it was like, never mind. That was hilarious. But no, I have to say, Maurice Bernard and Maura West did such a great job as she was because that whoever that actress is who plays was it Betty or whatever her name is?
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's good. She slapped Ava. I was like,
And also like on the parapet, it was like, yeah, don't get any closer.
he did. I was laughing. See, they got a little. Whoever's writers was a little smarter because I was like, don't go get closer. I laughed. Oh my god, I laughed because Ava was looking at her like, but she slapped her. I was like, oh my god. It was oh my god. It was that actress, whoever you are, you're making a mark in there. But she said, don't come any closer. Anyway, but I like the fact that Sonny and her just had this talk.
Yes.
And they love Avery, and it all came out. He's like, don't lie, just give it to me. And Ava was like, and he saw that Ava was trying to handle herself at first. Like Cheyenne, and the whole Nicholas thing, that was great. It came out. So he knows. And she was like, oh, I mean, the whole thing is, do we think Nicholas is dead?
I mean, we know he's not because he was in
Not
that,
dead.
he had the intubating tube and stuff in him. So he's
Right.
he's also at another Spencer, another coma for for a Lord.
I mean, they were so. Oh my god, I don't like Betty. Oh yeah, and Joss. Okay, so this became a topic, Frank. That's very interesting. I come from a blended family. My parents married other people who had kids, and I had several brothers. I grew up with actually. I actually grew up with them, and I say that's my brother, that's my sister. I don't always say this is my blood sister. I also have half siblings. I don't always say it's my half sister. I just go, it's my sister, right? When Joss said she was the sister of Avery, first of all, Betty was hilarious. She goes, "Oh, you're a little too tall in order to be your younger sister." I was laughing so hard. But there are fans like, she's not her sister. I'm like, oh, yes, she is. That family is it was a blended family.
Yeah.
That's why I mean, Avery's known her whole life as her sister. I don't care about blood. So I'm just defending that because I'm like, I have siblings that they are my siblings. We may not be by blood, but they are my siblings because I grew up with them most of my life. If I meet somebody at 10 years old and I'm 54, that's my sibling. I'm sorry. I mean, that's how we were raised. So anyway, and not all blended families also mix either, but that was became a topic for some reason, Frank, for some people. Like, I'm like, okay, and it's like, you won't be over here very long anyway, so.
Yeah, Jocelyn just was not subtle at all. She's just like, no, I do not care for you, and I will let you know I do not care for you.
Yes. But anyway, so that was a weird. You ever said we don't say step? I know I don't say that.
Yeah.
I don't say that. Just these are my siblings, or these are my cousins, or I may say stepmother or stepfather occasionally if they're newer, but I don't. After a while, my stepdad died this year. I never called him my stepdad. I just said it was Moses. He was my mother's husband. I mean, I just never really said that. So I mean,
yeah, I feel like more often than not you say that if you don't really care about them so much, or you're just, I mean, that's just my stepbrother, or that's just my half brother, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yes. It was a weird topic of some people. I'm like, that happens. But the whole exchange was hilarious.
What I do like is finally, I was just like, finally, we're getting, Ava just coming clean to Sonny. We can move this storyline to the next step. But at Sonny's restaurant, when he goes, I got to make a call, and just closes the door on Ava. Slam. It's just like, I'll let you in only so far, Ava. Otherwise, goodbye.
It was hilarious. The whole thing was kind of hilarious. I don't know if they did it on purpose to be hilarious, but just kind of like, it made it was hilarious. I mean, all those actors, have been around each other for so long, and we get it, and so it's just kind of funny. And he says he's going to take care of it.
I did like Ava's expectation when she comes to Sonny's restaurant. It's like, I thought you said you were going to take care of this. Like, it has been a day.
Yes, exactly.
Ava.
Exactly. It was hilarious. Like he's like, I'm handling it. Like and Dex was following them, so that was one thing. So he had him on the case. Thank God. Trina didn't do a Christina. What are you doing? What's going on? What are you doing? What's going on? Like,
yeah.
She was smart. It was like, okay, he's doing something, and so it almost brings Joss to be like, well, yeah, what is going on? And then we have Michael and Carly talk about what's next going on. Now they're like, what's going on? See, it's all this whole. I don't even care about Pikeman. I don't give a shit about that or whatever it is. But I'm glad they're trying to find out who this person is behind it all.
Yeah. And it is just, I'm happy to move past to the next Sonny and Michael, whatever that relationship is going to be, or the dynamic, where, Michael's genuinely appreciative of Sonny helping out Sasha however he can. Like a genuine thank you to Sonny in that moment. And then even talking to Carly about how he feels about Sonny, I was like, great. I don't need him to be like all lovey-dovey, but I just need a different iteration of the dynamic between the two of them. So I will take it.
Yeah, it's and I'm so over cuz, and there have been rumors that Austin's in charge of all this stuff. He's paying it off. Making sure against Mason. I don't know if that's true or not. That'd be an interesting twist.
So that Mason doesn't know that Austin's really in charge,
or he knows like they're all playing. There's some. I've been hearing these rumors that it's going to be him, that he's more in charge than he's letting out, and that either Mason doesn't know fully it's him, or something's going on. I don't know. I mean, again, his storyline's gone for so long that I don't even care at this point. You know what I mean? I don't even know. I'm like, I guess I feel like we're gonna be disappointed in who it is. It's gonna be just.
It's taken too long. You're right, James. Expectations are too high.
Yeah.
Because the show has drawn it out for so long, you're gonna really be expecting something dazzling.
Right.
And when it comes out to be nothing, you're gonna be like, okay, we waited this long for that.
Right. So I don't.
If you want to make Austin the head of it, great. But it's also like, we know GH to pivot and change storylines, midway through, and it's always awkward. This would be another example of it awkward, because it would just be like, well, what were the point of all those Mason Austin scenes? Because especially when they were just happening between the two of them, it was. Why would Mason be talking to Austin like that if Austin was really in charge?
Everyone's mentioning the moss. Yes, the moss. If they sell the house, what happens to the moss? I don't know.
See, again, I cannot stand any of these scenes talking about the fact that Carly might have to move to a different house.
Yes.
Like, that is the end of the world. And that is your home. That's where your memories are. It's like the only I would buy that. Like, say the Martin household on All My Children. You buy that. A lot of stuff is happening there. For good or bad, a lot of emotional moments. You've got a lot of connection to that venue. If the Martins had to sell their house, you would feel like, oh wow, so much has happened inside this house. It's a shame to see it go. But Carly's Sonny's house, whatever. We rarely see anything in there other than like the kitchen, and for that, it's like I think everybody would miss the moss. That would be the thing you miss the most. But that's not enough to like. Oh,
the moss, kids. I know. The moss.
That house, at least to a viewer, that location does not have enough emotional weight in it for any of us to be on board with any of these conversations. Like, you can't sell this house, Carly. I don't care. Just go to another house. It's fine.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, okay. Those scenes with Joss were hilarious. Do you have to live upstairs? That was hilarious. Are you gonna live upstairs? Like, no. Yeah, I'm gonna fix it up though. It's gonna do stuff. It's gonna fix it up. So we got a new set probably coming, Frank.
I don't know. I don't want to lose too much of the classic Kelly look to it, but also I look like where it's for the most part, when we go in there, it's steady. It's not like it's absolutely packed to the gills, but it's a nice steady flow. So for Carla to be like, there are just, this place is just falling apart. Like, really? It seems, seems like it's doing fine.
Yes, I know. It's I'm like, yes. But again, giving her Kelly's, that's great. I think they're setting up Bobby's death on some level. That's been talked about. I have no idea. So don't ask me, folks. I have no idea what they're going to do or when they're going to do it. So, I know it's like they're leading. They're going to start probably leading that direction. Not sure.
Do you want her to go out in like a soapy fashion off camera, where it kind of propels a storyline, or it's just a simple like, she passed away in her sleep and we all miss her?
That's a great question. I have no idea. I'm more fascinated by who returns. We see Lucas.
Yeah.
And
which Lucas?
Everyone wants to know which Lucas. I saw okay, if you guys ever seen the latest video between Perry Shen and Ryan Carnes, it's hilarious. They're doing the event together. But Ryan Carnes' hair is way down his back. It's really interesting.
Then show me that Lucas then.
Yes. It was like all right, and Kelly started when Jackie died. Okay. But either way, it's still going to lead. It's going to still lead towards her death. It can fit right into her death. But I don't know. There was something if Luke's coming, if he'll be alive, trying to be alive and come back. Everybody wants Tony Gary to come back. I don't know how that would happen. I don't know. I never thought Luke was really dead. Apparently Bobby's over there, take care of his affairs or whatever. I don't know what affairs he has over there. But I don't know. That's the big
that Tracy wouldn't have taken care of while she was there.
Yeah, I was kind of like, because literally, if they were still married, then she's next to Ken. If they're not married, then Bobby is next to Ken. But it's kind of weird. I just went through this recently, so I just know. So it's kind of weird. So it's like, maybe she finds Luke in Amsterdam, and I don't know. Or she gets killed instead of. I don't know. Who knows, right? I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. Lulu wakes up. I don't know. That's the thing. They're all wondering about who's going to be at Bobby's funeral. That's what I'm curious about. Anything else? But how she goes, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it's because you want to respect Jackie Zeman, but also do you want to respect Bobby's soapy legacy within the show, where she got to go. You try to juice like a story beat out of it as well too, and so I don't know.
Yeah, and there's that, but also, unfortunately, you guys, I've had to talk to people before. The soaps right now aren't super focused on creativity. Right now, they're focused on budgets and budgetary reasons. So those are reasons why we get who we get that comes back and who doesn't come back. And they kind of write to that right now. It's all about the money. So now with the writer strike and the actor strike, and if certain people, I guess they could do the soap, but this whole thing. So yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? Like, is that something that that the producers want to save until the real writers come back? I don't know. Or they're we got to keep moving with this stuff.
And DG, you're right. Tony Gary has had a time of his life in Amsterdam. If you follow his man Claudio Gama on Instagram or wherever, he's living his life in Amsterdam, having a good time. So, but you never know. You can always talk, but you never know. You never know. I never count anybody out.
Yeah, especially because it's just like for a character that has had that sort of legacy.
Yes.
To have it just all happen off camera just seems weird.
I agree. So I wouldn't count him out completely in some form. Could be a ghost. He could be the one that comes back and takes her up to, like the Quartermain takes her up to whatever. But who knows? But again, it's all about budgets and money and all that stuff right now. So who knows how that will look. But I think every one of the fans is like, we want to see a proper Bobby burial, proper attention. I promise you that. So I don't know.
See Rick Springfield back.
Oh my God, I know, right? So who knows? So who knows what? I mean, we have no idea. So I mean, we can all speculate, but I guess we'll wait and see. But I was telling people, I'm hearing what people are saying out there. So I'm saying I don't know. But anyway, so now that storyline got some movement. It got some movement. We haven't seen Austin and Mason yet. We got some movement, but we got to mention it's just because we got a new set last week. Like we needed it, a new prison set.
Yeah, boy, and they were taking advantage of that.
Yes, they did. And so that guy Book is back apparently.
Fans were clamoring for him. We need more Book.
I thought you weren't you? He's back and now terrorizing someone else. And it's like,
yeah, and for some reason, I mean, at least the way that Cyrus is talking about is, I mean, there is like something going on in the prison.
However, love seeing my Cyrus. I do. I don't care. I like him. I like seeing him. I like seeing him, and it's kind of fun to have him. I mean, he's back on more than I thought we'd see him, of course. Which I think you and I both agreed having him on periodically is really good, actually.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether we see him as a hallucination or at the Metro Court pool.
Oh my God. That's like poor Sasha. You mentioned his name, and suddenly that's all she thought about was Cyrus. Yeah. I almost forgot about that whole thing. They're like, yeah, it was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, I totally forgot about that. I was like, the new prison is like an airport lounge. Yes. So Esme meets with her mother. Yeah, we got to talk about that. Meets with her crazy mother, who first has an encounter with Cyrus. I was like, ooh, those two folks together, how interesting. Yeah.
I don't know. I still feel like there needed to be closure, I guess, for the Ryan storyline. But the way it happened, and just like the fact that there was just no, like we need, Ryan and Esme scenes, no real Esme scenes. I don't know. That all that stuff still bothers me. So the fact that it's down just Esme and Heather, all right, I guess.
Well, I was just saying, because the impetus for the whole thing was Esme and Alexis. I did like those scenes where she was like, I may be a Cassadine, but I did work for myself and I separated myself from them. I have a life. She does. She has a life outside. She made a life outside of them. She goes, there's a difference between you and I, because I actually did the work.
Very true. Like, yeah, which I agree all with that. Sometimes to my sadness, because when big Cassadine storylines happen, she's not really even considered involved in any of that stuff.
Yeah. But I get her point to Esme, like, come on, folks, you can't talk because you have two crazy parents yourself. You can't really talk. And that's making her, because the thing is, people are telling her, you haven't changed, really. You may not remember who you are. It happened. She's like, well, I guess it happened, or allegedly happened. Like, nobody's like, no, it happened, bitch. It happened. But you're not doing anything even to, like, look into yourself. And now we already know. I hate it's going this way. I guess she's not just as important. I guess she's more important than you and I, Ace. We'll have to show him, or whatever she said. I'm like,
that is just, it's like, so even if she doesn't have her memories, she still just has the way that she behaves. Which is just at the root of Esme's thing. Just listen to all that. Like the way they write Esme is just like, it's just extremes with her. It's either you're fully on board with Esme or you are against Esme. There's just not like, oh, hey, yeah, he still cares about us, but he also still has other relationships too that he wants to maintain and take care of as well too. So we are also a friend. We matter to him, but also other people matter to him. Ugh, the fact that there's just no, it's like, no, he did not answer. He did not want to talk to me on the phone. That means he's against us. God.
And the Esme thing also, spills over into the Trina and Nicholas Chavez, I should say.
Yeah.
The Sprina fans are getting not what they wanted again. Now, it looks like they might be breaking up, kind of, to not hurt Porsha's feelings.
It's I really do not care about. The show has made me just really want to just disengage from caring about Porsha at all.
Oh, completely. Oh, completely.
It's just like, man, I cannot. There's nothing about Porsha that I can be like, yeah, I'm digging it. Like all the stuff with Curtis right now, I'm just like, oh, forget it.
Exactly. I think it's well, okay, so we'll go into this part of the story, like everybody's talking about this. This divided people too. Curtis banning Porsha and Trina from him, right? Wayne's going off on her. There were a couple things I'm glad he said to her on some level. Sorry, folks. There were a couple things that she needed to hear. About keeping her child, a daughter, away for 20 years. And you're sorry. He's like, you're sorry. It's too late. Like, it's too late. On some level, I get what he's saying. It's kind of like, you did this. And they want us to feel for Porsha, but I agree, the way they write her, for me, just makes me continually dislike her.
Yeah.
I think Curtis was a little much this week, obviously. However, he is new at being this paralyzed thing. It must be a trip. He is a man, so he's feeling his ego and all that. Sure. But when he brought up Porsha about when I was with Jordan, how much you care about, there was some truth in some of the things he was yelling at her about. And Porsha's been a horrible person. I'm sorry, folks. Horrible. I have not liked her for months. I want to like her. I mean, Brooke Claire is great and does a great job as an actress, but this show, she's not a good person. Sorry, I don't think she's a good person.
It's just, I don't know. It's it is tough for me to get on board with a paralysis storyline now. Yes. I don't know. It's just because we've seen it so many times, whether it was Sonny or then it was Chase.
Yeah, Chase and Luke. Yeah, they've all been paralyzed.
And it's just like, okay, and it's a different thing than if you were actually using somebody that was, that was truly, paralyzed from the waist down, and did, and you were actually fully investing in it. Having a person with that particular disability as a living, breathing, fully involved member of the show, heck yeah, let's have it. But when it's somebody that is not truly paralyzed from the waist down, it's like, okay, we just know it's gonna you already know where the storyline's going. It's just a matter of when does the reveal come that he can walk again. Ugh.
The problem is, for me, where's his father? Where's Aunt Stella? Where's Jordan? Of all the people in the whole wide world that we had to have Curtis talk to, of all the characters on General Hospital, we had to have Curtis talk to Finn. No, before you guys say anything, I know they strung it together that they both were addicts and blah, blah, blah. But wouldn't you think the father, who would never leave his side, would be there, or Stella, praying over him? Like, that's who he should be talking to. Since Drew is gone in prison, that was his friend. Finn and him, yeah, they know each other through the whatever. It was just not realistic to me whatsoever. I didn't buy it, so I felt absolutely nothing. Now, Porsha and Elizabeth talking made sense.
Yeah.
But Finn them, I know, because they both were addicts, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. It just, Curtis's family should have been there next. Or Nina. That's who he should have talked to for that serious conversation. It's just like, no, this thing is just, it's not. Yeah. Yes, Frank?
Yeah, I was also bummed. I mean, we talked about this before too. Just the the disappointing nature of Curtis seeing his mother up in heaven during his surgery.
Yeah.
And now like have this moment where he mentions it to his dad that he saw his mom and Tommy, but it's like, yeah, you really can't really talk much about it because nothing really of any interest happened in those scenes earlier anyway. It was just like, oh, mama, wait, I have a daughter. Like that was that was great. Tommy's working on the car. Okay. And that was it. And so we got really nothing worthwhile out of those scenes to even have like something to have like a great conversation with Marshall about the mom and him being gone all those years. And it just could have been so much better of a scene than what we got.
Yes. Now, I'll mention this, unlike DG, Annie, I would never tell you not to feel the way you feel, because I know there are folks who are paralyzed who watch the show. And anybody who watches characters when they're paralyzed, and it must be tough. It must be tough to watch. I'm not paralyzed, so I don't. I've had paralysis in my face, so I know what that feels like. And so I get, for folks who are paralyzed watching the story, it can be a little triggering and upsetting. I totally get it. It may be a fictional story, but still, I understand this could happen. And I always side with folks. If you feel a certain way, you're triggered by something, I would never tell you otherwise. You shouldn't feel that way. And yes, there are some folks who do regain use of motor function sometimes, but I do understand. And I try to watch all this stuff with the black stuff, the colorism, all this stuff. I just try to, when it comes to rape, I always look at, yes, these are soap operas, but people do watch you and have things like this happen in real lives. So, but it's just kind of, there is some responsibility on soap operas to kind of, I think, to watch what they do, but a lot of times they don't, and we get what we get. So I just want to make sure that's just my statement on that.
That's true, because it's like a lot of stuff is ripped from or taken from the headlines or things that are important, but that doesn't always necessarily mean that a soap will handle it in the best fashion either.
Exactly. But also, everybody's agreeing with you, Frank. Frank, that I've been saying for years. Yes, Frank, that was dumb. Yeah, I know it's it's the Curtis storyline. Yes, he can act. We're glad he can act. Love it. They're giving him the storyline. Perfect. And so it's great. It's one of those things that, but hopefully it's a good storyline. But I feel like there's just we need his family there with him, talking to him, and his good friend Nina, not Finn, there.
Yeah,
I just think that just something we need. I think, again, they're shoving Finn down our throats. They always do. We had to stomach a dinner. We had to stomach a date with Finn and Liz. I just care so less about them that I can't even stand it.
It is a bummer. I mean, I'm more interested in seeing Finn being, like the assistant chief of staff, seeing him in that role in the hospital, just having him get more storylines that way. Maybe then I am seeing him in a relationship with Liz. I just don't care about the two of them together as a couple.
Anybody care about Liz and Finn out there? Are there any Liz? Are there any? What is their name together?
Fizz?
Together.
Yeah.
Fizz.
Yeah.
Fizz, Fins, Liz, Lynn.
No, like as we've talked about before, at least for me, I feel like it's just too soon. We needed them to have just a solid rest, just be friends. And if you want to revisit a relationship a few years down the line, all for it.
No. I mean, just seriously, no chemistry. I'm just like, I'm looking at them just going, wow. But friendship, yes. Everybody's like, nope, exactly. I was like, friendship, yeah, fine. We work at the hospital together. And like I said, Liz and Porsha talking made sense. They are friends, made sense. But I'm like, you have people on contract who actually would make sense. I know everybody has guarantees. People on the show, everybody has their things they got to do. But it's just like, sometimes like it's lazy sometimes. Like, oh, let's throw Fit in there. Because they both were addicts at one point. They are kind of friends on some level. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there are better people who could be visiting him that could be better.
I mean, it's a step up than having that one nurse talk to Willow about her family.
Yes.
So at least it wasn't as bad as that, where just
Yeah.
random, like if that nurse had come in and said there and talked to Curtis, I would have just like, what is happening? There's nobody from Curtis's family you could have gotten
Right.
for this.
Right. And that's what makes you upset about this whole. Yes, I get that Porsha doesn't. I'll go back to the Spencer thing. I can just talk about it in the chat room. I know a lot of folks who don't like Porsha interfering, but he is a Cassadine. He has shown his ass to them many times. So as a parent, I kind of get it. She's annoying. She can't really talk about anything because she's done her own wrong stuff. And now making Taggart also an alcoholic. You see that?
Oh, that was
He's drinking tea and sympathy at Kelly's.
yeah. But and as always, it's always great when they have to do the look around, pull out the flat.
I know. Oh! Like, oh, don't make him alcoholic, please. I'm like, come on. But Frank, that would actually be funny. Random nurse comes and talks to Curtis. I don't really talk to the Curtis. I know. There's all these random nurses come in.
If you made that random nurse just the character that always goes in and talks to somebody that's in the hospital, then I would love it, because it would just be so. You do it enough times that it becomes funny because it's just so ridiculous.
I agree. I agree. But Spencer is selfish and self-centered. He's a kid. All that, we get that. But we know he's trying to be better, and he does loves Trina. He admires her. He wants to be better for her. He's fighting. It's the classic fighting for, things. It's so. And what's so funny? Because I have, over the years, gotten flack for defending Porsha actually in her actions. And now I'm seeing people saying different things now, like she wouldn't want somebody dating her daughter, and it was from a terror. Like, it's really funny. I've gotten in trouble back in the past for defending Porsha or defending them, saying that and now all of a sudden some folks online are finally agreeing with me on some level. I'm like, yeah, there's certain things a mother would do. Trina's a grown woman, she can do whatever she wants. I don't mind a classic storyline of that, where you fight against the mother and a Romeo and Juliet story. I don't mind all that. That's fine. But to kind of break them up because we don't hurt Porscha's going through so much right now. No. I was like, but Trina is not. I'm excuse my language. She's not the magical Negro. I'm tired of this putting her into this like princess thing. She should be a fully formed person. As she makes decisions, she should be able to be like everyone else in the show. I don't care about race. Just make her a regular, fully formed person. I think they write for Trina sometimes like she's a pristine little girl, and that makes me tired. That's not exciting. That's not fun. Let's just write her like any girl her age would be. And she can have class and style or whatever. It's like that. But I feel like they're really, the true test would be, can she change a guy like Spencer? Can Spencer change? Like, that's where the story should come. But I feel like they don't write enough of that whatsoever.
That's, but James, hard pressed to disagree with any of that.
They don't.
That is true. The Porsha and Trina stuff just gets frustrating because it's just like, it's yes, you may not like who your daughter's dating, but you, as a parent, I think you got to at least, you may not love it, but all you can do is just be there to support them when things go bad.
Yes.
But you've got to let them make their own mistakes.
Right.
Or maybe it turns out great. Maybe Trina does rescue Spencer and everything's awesome.
Right. But I feel like they don't write her like an adult sometimes. It's like, it was kind of like, we need to see her as a fully formed person, young woman. Let's see that. Her spunk, she had spunk back when she was with Ava. Back when Cindy Kayla played her, she had spunk. She had pizzazz. She was into art. She was into all this stuff. Now this player is a sad sack person who's always in trouble and always needing something. Like, come on, let's make her. Where's the spunk? Where's the scene with her and Ava talking? Give them a scene together. Let's get them back. Like, I feel like we're missing out. They're not writing for her, and that's the problem for me, because it does affect Spencer and this and that, and it affects all these other things. And Curtis and Taggart and all. I just think we should have a chance to. I feel like Spencer, they write for him, but they don't really write for her. We get
Yeah,
Spencer's point of view all the time.
I feel like the only time that I think we've seen her have any sort of real agency was when she made the choice to follow Spencer onto the princess,
Yes.
the princess, or
Greenland out there.
yes.
Yes.
That was the first time we saw her like I'm going to do something. But other than that, it's just stuff happening to her all the time.
Yes. And Frank just said it. That's exactly what it is. There are always so much stuff things happening to her. It's like, come on, girl, let's see. Yeah, they just did not. I mean, yeah, and that's it. That, and yes, Spencer's a kid, but he's trying. That's the whole point. It's like he's young. He's everything you guys are saying about him is just true. He was a brat. He was this bratty kid who thought he was all that. And that's the point. Let's see the evolution. Let's see how this works. That's the fun part.
Yeah, because I feel like you want to make that you want every character to be a fully formed character, which means sometimes they do great stuff, and then sometimes they do stupid stuff, or sometimes they do mean stuff. But the whole point is, if you've created a full character, we're going to take that ride with them, and we're going to root for them when they're doing great stuff. We're going to be frustrated when they're doing stupid stuff. We'll be mad at them if they're doing deliberately hurtful stuff to other people. But you're still gonna root for them in some fashion because you've kind of created this fully formed character. And you're like, I love you, but I'm also mad at you right now. Now, how are we gonna do this stuff? And I love to see Trina have those things, because right now it's like she's almost like too perfect as a character. Like nothing, she doesn't do anything wrong or anything bad. It's,
exactly.
Yeah.
A little too much. Too much. She's not perfect. I'm tired of folks trying to make her perfect. She's not perfect. Let her have some fun. Let her have some, like, let her be the young woman she can be. So I do think some of these things were dictated by outside the show stuff, because we lost Nicholas, the original Nicholas. There are a lot of things that have happened, as you guys can remember, the last couple of years. We lost Cindy Michaela. I think certain things happened that just kind of inform what we're seeing today, I think, at some level. Because there is no Nicholas on the show right now. There's no this on the show right now. Like, there's a lot of things I think happened in the last couple of years outside the show that, so it's kind of, I think that's what we're seeing right now, I guess. But the whole thing is Curtis pushing them all away. I mean, a lot of fans hate that. I'm not sure. The scenes were good. The acting was good. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet either, but it's almost predictable, the whole pushing people away, and that, like, where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna live? Where's he gonna go?
I mean, I feel like you have to have those scenes because it's a soap and you need to generate story for all these multiple days. I would think in real life, yes, there are some people that have that initial reaction, of course, because this is but there are other people that don't, and they absolutely will just lean right into their family and them being there to support them. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like you gave Curtis these angry scenes because it's that's like 1 or 2 days of storyline written for them. Like, oh, he could just be angry and vent all this stuff out. Then that covers his storylines for this week, and then next week we can work on him coming around to his senses.
They're all back to Jordan, and back to where is Jordan?
She's deputy mayor. It's hard work, everybody.
I have a friend who was a mayor of Huntington Park here in LA, and all he did was go to functions all the time. I'm like, that doesn't sound hard to me. I don't know what that's all about, but he's like, every on Instagram, he was at a function. I don't know what's going on. I won't be mayor, so that's fine.
I'd vote for you, James.
I want to be mayor of Inglewood. There's already a James the mayor of Inglewood, James T. Butts. I know him, actually. Okay. Eddie Mayne's still Eddie Mayne. There's nothing more to say about that. He's still Eddie Mayne.
But that was frustrating me, though, is that yes, he's Eddie Mayne, but the show doesn't show him being Eddie Mayne. No. They tease us with him grabbing the guitar, but then he collapses at the Savoy, or Tracy ends up interrupting his music off over at the park. It's like, let's see Eddie Mayne doing his thing, because what's the whole point of him being Eddie Mayne if we're never going to actually see him be Eddie May.
Yes. What else? Maxie. And there's a new Georgie debuted. You saw little James. And I always wonder what goes through actors' minds when they get scripts sometimes. Mac was the man who raised everyone's children.
Yes.
He raised everybody's kids, all the deadbeat parents out there who were not around. Mac was the master father, and he raised girls. Trust me, I have two. I know what it's like. All I'm saying is the fact that he couldn't wrangle Georgie and James, really, that Felicia had to come in. And, wait a minute, Mac is handled way worse than them two little brats. Come on. Yeah, Maxie, Georgie, and Robin. And he was doing it by himself most of the time. I'm like, this part of the storyline made me just furious. Frank.
I am with you a bazillion % on that. And I think we all can remember Maxie tearing in to Felicia at George's funeral.
Yes, she did.
So, for Elsa to play Felicia is like, oh, I'm the child whisperer, everybody. Like, what? What is this? So that was crazy. But I really did want them fighting and then to knock over and knock out the Colonel's secret recipe, as always on that bookshelf, but that didn't happen.
You're always thinking about it. Sorry, I was thinking about it.
Always.
I can't get away with more. I have grandchildren. I have 5, so I understand the grandchildren stuff. But I can wrangle my grandkids. They know better. When Papa Jamie talks, they know to listen. They know to listen. But I just thought, but Mac Damascus more respect than Mac. Okay, exactly. Yeah, because
if they want to work on Maxie getting a bigger place, message received already, guys. We get it. Let's just hit the accelerator on this and get her into a new set.
Well, Frank, you catch Dante and So, folks, you must have caught. I went by the old house the other day. It just looks so empty. It just so like. I think either Max is going to move into Carly's house, or their house.
Yeah, let's talk real though, James. I mean, certainly we already know that the world of General Hospital a little different than ours. They have not gone through the same things that we as a society have gone through the past few years. So given that in the world of GH, if I can't imagine like a lighthouse house that was available, that could not be on the market for this long and nobody's taken up on it. Do you think?
I don't even know. This world, this fictional world of Port Charles is something else.
There's no way that this would have just been left empty and nobody would buy this house. So like you're saying that nobody has paid this and Dante is just sitting on making, mortgage payments on this property that has not moved yet. Like somebody has to have bought that, right? No.
Oh, and wait a minute, Kathy. Remember, aren't Maxie and them super rich because of deception? She can't afford Carly's house. They're all super rich. They don't dress her that way or act her that way in that tiny little apartment, but Maxie's supposedly rich now.
Yeah.
So she can do whatever she wants. They don't act like she is, but she's rich. She can afford it. You guys are all wrong. She can afford Carly's house. They're all rich. But I have a feeling because they mentioned Lulu and Dante's old house, it's going to be that one. I have a feeling it's going to be that one.
So do we get like both a Carly and Maxie both vying for the lighthouse?
I
don't know.
I don't know yet because that can happen. That can totally happen. It'd be the most boring story on earth. That can totally happen. But Maxie, they've hit us over the head several times in the last couple of weeks. She needs a bigger house. We get it.
Yeah,
we get it. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. So I'm like,
and I do like that it's just convenient that the baby has a separate sitter. The other two kids, they need other sitters. Like what? Why you can say all three of them are in the house, even if you want to keep the baby off camera. Great, they can all three be there. It's fine.
but here's the problem, kids. Why give Maxie a set if they don't have a storyline for it, really?
Ooh. Yeah.
They would need a storyline. She needs a storyline. So they haven't given her a love interest, and they haven't really done much with her since. So why even give her a set?
Yeah, she's.
I mean, they need to give her. They would need to give her a. Does Lulu come back? And then she like wants her house, and like I mean, I'm just like I don't know. I'm just like I'm trying to figure out. Maxie needs a storyline. Maxie needs a storyline. And they're not putting her and Spinelli together like everybody wants. We barely see Spinelli.
I mean, you see the speculation online. It's like, oh, maybe she's going to get mixed up in the Sasha and Gladys storyline. She gets kidnapped or something like that, and Spinelli can save the day. Whatever. I don't know. Great if that would happen, but it's like we've seen Spinelli so little recently as well, either, that even if the show wanted to make that happen, like, okay, I don't have any particular feeling that they would be able to invest in that couple anyway.
Which is so funny because all of a sudden, like Michael has a set. He's in Aurora all of a sudden. Oh, okay. Again, there are a lot of things this week we're like, oh, okay. Glad you're back here. Well, I didn't want to be. I have to kind of be here. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, just like it's like he's back at Aurora. So he has a little set there. I mean, like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we needed to see that. That conversation could have only happened in Aurora. It couldn't have happened at Carly's house. Couldn't have happened elsewhere.
Anywhere. At Kelly's. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's just weird. And I know kids work occasionally because of labor laws and they don't get too invested in kids. So that part isn't, when they pull them out every once in a while, it's like, oh yeah, they got kids. That's fine with me. But I'm just saying, I know that but Maxie is a major character. Maxie is a legacy character. Kristen Storms can actually act. So let's give her she should be having a story. Or involve something. This deception of they got to remember the Deceptor in a while. I guess the story will come out because I saw the previews for next week and Martin. The whole Pine Valley thing, Frank. All in all, after all was said and done, I think Candice Mack was correct. It was disappointing.
Oh, it absolutely was. It was a big nothing burger, as they like to say, where it was just, sure, it was great to see, Jackson talk to Anna via phone, at least to have that little touch base between the characters. But, it did nothing. Jackson, like nothing really came of it. I don't know. It was just a bummer. I would love it if Jackson said like, hey, I'm going to relocate to Port Charles for a while. Cool. Do that. Whatever. And then have him get involved in the storyline. But like this, I don't know. It was so empty. Yeah, which is not what you want to think. You don't want to think that about like seeing some beloved All My Children characters come back. You're like, yeah, let's see. If you're going to show a character for a little bit, make it worthwhile, make it impactful. Make it feel like, yes, we're just, this character is having an awesome life. They're still having crazy adventures they had in All My Children. And we're just getting a little snippet of their crazy life dropped in here for a second. But no.
I know. That's why I worked out today. My legs are hurting. Yes, it is. It is. There's the cast. We say it every time. It's a very bloated cast. A lot of people on there. So there's some folks I know. I feel, and probably Frank does too. Need good storyline, and we're all for bringing special guests in and that kind of stuff, and tying up the the land view, and he mentioning Delia, who of course is from Ryan's Hope. That's Ava's mother. I love it. If it serves a purpose, that works. You know what I mean? Like you just bring them in, or you just talk about them, and nothing really. There's no payoff.
Yeah, because it's just like you're just, make it worthwhile for the fans, make it worthwhile for the character, make it worthwhile for the actor coming in.
Yes,
it's like give it something. That's at least with Stella in the abstract, they do a good job with her. Like when she does come back into town, she gets mixed up in something, whether it's oh, I had a stroke and I forgot to mail that envelope, and now they're still really married the whole time. At least it's something that it activates the story somehow. For this, like, what was the whole point of this? Lucy and Felicia go there, and we got to listen. Like, how did nobody know? Like Max, like she's a PI again. Like, didn't we have scenes months and months ago where Felicia's like, "Oh, I'm getting back into the business, and I'm doing this, and I'm an old school version, and I'm talking to Sam about stuff." To have Mac be like, "What? You're doing this again?" Like that was, oh yeah.
While I got 67 of you guys in the chat room, I want to mention one of our people in the chat room has a book. It's called Broken Circle.
Ooh.
It's from a series. His name is Jason Jose. This book is good, folks. If you're a soap fan, it's not that big or anything. Soap fans should run out and get it at Barnes & Noble. It's also on Amazon, Kindle and paperback. This book is good. It's about some people who are friends in New York City. Great backdrop, totally great backdrop. Lots of soapy goodness in this book. If you want, there's younger sisters, there's older siblings, there's wealth, there's power. It's good, you guys. So I'm showing to you. You guys are listening to it. Come to the video, look at it. But I'll post on our page too. On our page, GHB Spotlight on Facebook. The Broken Circle by Jason Jose is really, really, really good. If you want a nice summer read. Some of us are still traveling, so you guys are laying by the pool, I guess. I don't got a pool. Or at the beach, or at the, if you're sitting at a hotel, whatever, get on a train. You're on a train. And for me, because I'm working out now, if you're working out. So check us out. This is Broken Circle by Jason Jose. It is book one of a series. It's really good. He's in the chat room, I think, still. So we support writers. We support writers. Does it come on audio? I don't know, Jason. Are you in here? I don't think it's audio yet, is it? But it is on. That's an idea. But it is on Kindle. It's on Kindle, kids. So you can read it at least. But I know audio's a new thing these days. But yes, but we support writers of color, indie writers. We said we like soap opera goodness. Stuff's good. So
if he only knew somebody that created a bunch of audio soaps that could possibly help bring this to life. I don't know where you might find that.
Jason, I have 17 audio dramas. This could be an audio drama. Who knows? Well, that could be something in the future, right? We love this stuff. It's good. A group of close college friends reunite in New York City 5 years after graduation. So you already know from there it's working. Looking for a narrator. You're looking for a narrator, kids. Yeah, like Frank. Frank has a good voice. Looking for a narrator. But get this book, run and get it. It's good. And when it comes out on audio one day, we'll talk about that too then. Broken Circle. Jason Jose, go get it. No, I'll put a picture on. I'll put a picture on there. So he's like, I'm in. Jason's like, I'm in. I'm in. Exactly. Yes. Does GG work for GH Lives? That's good. Yes. Is there any storyline? Oh, before even that too, where are your email accounts? Frank Graham, we got that too. Frank's gonna show us his email. You guys don't yell at me when I forget. I don't want to forget. At 238-589. 238-589. And that's
That's a lot, guys. That's
a lot. Yes, Frank, that's a lot.
Amount.
Well, I just want to know. I'm like, how she must not have a lot of stuff else on your phone? So I'm thinking, we have a certain amount of memory on the phone. And sometimes if I have too much, some of my emails won't load if I have too much other stuff on it. So I was wondering.
I did have to get more space on my
Oh,
Gmail.
okay, that makes sense. I was gonna say, wait a minute. I was like, wait a minute.
Because I had maxed out. So
Okay.
I bought the big ticket package
Okay.
for that Gmail.
I was wondering. I'm like, one of my things, Frank, get busy. I know one of the things for me, I literally had to like delete some stuff. So
but now that we're doing this email check, I feel like I need to keep them because I could start going through and delete them. And then what if the next week we chatted and I was like, oh, I'm back down to 224. People were like, what? This is going in the wrong direction.
The wrong direction. You have to keep going. I expect Frank's phone to break from all the emails. That's what I was saying. I'm like,
I mean, it is heavy, guys. You don't understand how heavy 238,000
emails are, right? Exactly. All these emails. That's pretty funny. Okay. So Josh and Dex had sex. I guess they had sex.
We did see Chase and Brooklyn.
Okay.
That little peanut scene at the pool.
There you go. Okay, there we go. I mean, I like them together, obviously. We've always liked them together, obviously. However, I'm trying to get back into them. I'm glad they're flying together. That whole scene I didn't need, but that's fine, I guess. I mean, it was supposed to be cutesy, I guess, Frank.
Yeah, I will take this where they're at least together and enjoying each other rather than the show's attempts at artificial obstacles in between them.
That's true.
I mean, for now, I don't need this all the time, but yeah, I will happily take this rather than something coming up and all of a sudden it comes like an instantly polarizing thing between the two of them, and Chase has to walk off in a huff, and Brooklyn has to sit there with her mouth slightly open and like, oh. So I'll take it for right now.
I mean, I'll take it too, I guess. I mean, I like them together. I mean,
we also saw what last week that happened, or the week before, was the reminder of Gregory's ALS during that argument with Tracy. she mocks him because she couldn't pick up his car keys. Oh,
but in the preview for this week, Tracy and him are having lunch or something.
Again, it's just like, I think we've talked about this so much, how much that would be a much more interesting storyline, and we just know that this ALS thing is just hovering, and it's not one of those things where it's like, to me, it's like, oh, it's going to be so tragic. Like, no, I don't care, because I don't care about Gregory right now. I will care more about Gregory if we see him in scenes with Tracy or a triangle with Tracy and Alexis. That would make me care more about Gregory. Yes. And I don't need this tragic thing that's going to be happening in his life that the show could activate at any moment. It doesn't do anything for me in terms of that character.
Everybody in chat agrees with it. They want us to scrap that story. I agree. Misdiagnose him like he did with Hat Daddy. Just
yes.
Diagnose him. That's fine. Move on. I'll buy it. Yeah, okay. It's a bad hospital, I guess. Okay, misdiagnosed. Move on.
Yeah, because there's nobody going to say like, no, GH, you should give me more of the bad idea. Don't give me this more of the fun stuff of a triangle with the three of them. I'm mad at you because you didn't keep this terrible, stupid idea going.
And you guys said, I mean, I know it's a hospital, so they have to have hospital-related stories. But I don't need it. I think he's the leading. Let's have an older leading man who's hot. Let's have him have a story. Let's them have a story, because there's potential stories sitting right there, and he's tied to characters. So it's the father and grandfather, so he's tied. So he has that already too.
Oh, so much! Oh God, I would love it. Other great. Speaking of older characters, we would get a little tease of the Scorpio and Diane Miller. But what I did like was Diane and Gladys's chat, where Diane was like, "Do not ever threaten me." I felt like, yes, you can see, like, that was one moment where you could see Gladys was just like, "All right."
Oh, you don't play with Diane.
No.
Oh, no, you do not play with Diane. Diane was just like, no, bitch. Here's what's gonna happen. You will not threaten me again. And if you don't know, now you know. That's basically what she wanted to say to her. Oh, Diane's like, bitch, no, nope, not today. She's like, not today. Gladys got that's the Gladys I know. She gets a little too big for her britches. She don't know what she's doing. That's the Gladys I don't mind so much. But with Diane was not having it. Nope.
Just shut that down so fast.
She did. Yes, she did. Carolyn Hennessy, work it out. She did. But again, we don't see enough of them. We don't see enough of Robert. We don't see enough of her. They're putting Dante and Anna together for this storyline, which I was going to say it now, kids. I think something's going to develop.
What?
That's my prediction. I don't know what, but them being in danger together, because like I said, I've admired you for a long time. They used to work together. Because Anna and Sonny are friends. So I don't think anything ever happening to them. But I don't know. If something's telling me that they're almost chem testing to see if something's there.
Interesting. I mean, heck, let's go for it. Sure.
I want to say, or they get extremely close. This could be interesting. Like they're going to take their relationship to just another level. I don't know what it is. I have this weird feeling. As a writer, I have this weird feeling. So I don't know. We will see. But I'm just putting it out there. I'm time stamping it. So if something does happen, I can say, back on July 30th, I said, but I could be wrong. Now I'll be fine if I'm wrong. But I was like,
no. I mean, because I think we all have friends. We have best friends. We also have friends that we just kiss. We just
that's being friends. That's all we do. We just make out. That's how we see each other.
So maybe they become friends and just kiss.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. The whole point is Nina and Valentin also need, because Valentin's off with Laura, Anna's off with Dante and kind of Sonny. They need conflict. I'm not saying that I want them to happen. I'm just saying I've watched enough of these soap operas, and nowadays they're writing all. You guys know this. You guys watch soap operas too. They write all over the place nowadays. Trust me. I don't know.
Yeah.
A happy couple's a boring couple. They always mess them up. They always do on these soaps. You guys all know that. I'm not making it up. You guys all know that.
Yeah.
So it's like they're not. Right now, Martin and Lucy have all this conflict, so to speak. I'm not really seeing a payoff, I guess, but this week he's back on this week. So, are we going to meet the third wife? I have no idea what this payoff's going to be. They've teased us with so much. I don't even know.
But it's, I feel like that I'm getting into whoever's running Paw Talk. You've dragged this out for so long, but unlike the Paw Talk, this is actually intriguing, but I feel like it's still dragged out so long that by the time we meet whoever the third wife is, it's going to be underwhelming. It's not going to be it's not going to be like an Erica Kane level type character where you're like, whoa, all right, this is crazy. And already seeing how they've handled Jackson would give me no hope that even if they brought Erica Kane in, they would do her any sort of justice.
I agree. And the fact they didn't give us anybody else, it's like they give us, Greenlee or somebody else, or anybody, or any other people on Eliza or something. It's like, okay. Yeah, him and Eric are divorced. We know that. Okay, guy gets divorced, and that's it. No Brooke or anything. Nobody. Just there was nobody else that could have been a nice surprise. Okay. I don't know. Rumors of Sky. That'd be fine with Sky. Again, if it was great, it's funny because I mentioned the Esme storyline too. It's funny with these where they tease us. All these stories are just lots of phrases, lots of teases. It's like they tease this in this storyline, and tease that in that storyline. And again, we don't get full frontal or something totally different. Full access. We don't get a full storyline. It's like either they change course or it drags out for years. You know what I mean? I'm with you, Fred. We said earlier. I'm like, yeah, I don't know where they're really going with this, because I don't know, it's because I'm looking at some of these storylines and going, they all have potential if written well. They all have potential.
GH excels at teasing you with a potential
Yes.
great story idea,
Yes.
and then making you not care about it very quickly.
Thank you. Seriously, I mean there's a bunch of storylines right now that they've teased. They haven't fully, because I feel like Estella's still holding some secrets. We need to get fit with that whole family. They're teasing that Taggart's an alcoholic. We don't really see him very often. Esme, is she faking? Is she for real? I think she's possibly. Oh, there you go. That's very good. Jason was that. You see that, Jason? But it's completely. It's just like it's it's like, since half of Esme's people are gone, so to speak. There's no Nicholas, there's no Ryan, there's no Heather. Now we got Laura off. So like, it's just him, Spencer, and Trina, like almost a classic triangle, so to speak. But it's still not good enough because she's fucked over so many people. There's no Cameron on the show anymore right now or anything. So it's like she did all this wrong stuff. Again, they're making us not care, so to speak. Like, okay, Esme could be a great villain. Sure, okay, I have no problem with that whatsoever. But again, they're playing on the fence that without giving us like a full. I think the character needs more work.
The frustrating thing is like with Jason when he first gets amnesia, and the Qs are trying to hold on to him, and he's getting frustrated. But then we move him over, and we get him in Robin's orbit, where we see a character that has a fresh perspective on this character and is willing to, likes this person, or at least, is going to defend and get to know this person for who they are at the moment, rather than have all the Quartermain baggage for this. So I feel like with the Esme stuff, we needed, if Cameron's not there, but somebody else, like a young character that is kind of fresh in, that does not have all the baggage of Esme, of past actions, that can get to know her just as she is in the current moment, and be that other person that will help speak to her, or we can get to know Esme a little bit better through this person that doesn't have all this history with her.
Well, who we should have had? We should have had that nanny who we saw. Why did she come to America? She should have come to America, and she should be there. She should be the nanny of the baby, to me, in my opinion. She should be at the house with them, and she could be Esme's talk to. She could be, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And she knew Esme from before. Maybe Phil give us some insight of how she was raised. And maybe if Esme is again more story. I mean, we're sitting here, there should be more. I mean, they're not writing it well enough. They're not writing well enough. I just think that they're not writing enough. They're not writing it enough. I think Esme can be written a lot better. The actress does a great job. Amy Poehler's a good actress, does a great job. But I'm not on Young and Restless. They're doing a better job with certain things when it comes to stuff like this. So it's like, I don't think they're, bringing on, crazy Heather as her mother for a minute to scare her into like, I don't be like her and all that, whatever. That's one piece of it, but like, it's not enough to me. It's like, I don't care about Esme. I mean, I could if they wrote more to me. That just like I said, Friday's episode, she was like ready to scheme a little bit to get Spencer. So if it gets better, then maybe I can get into it. But I'm just like,
yeah, it's a shame because clearly the show wants her around for whatever reason. But if that's the case, yes, let's have us get invested in her. Because right now you haven't written her any differently, or even written anything really for her, other than her just being like concerned about Ace and being grumpy that everybody is like, you're all just judging me.
I know it's getting old. It's getting hurt. They're having her play the same beats. It's getting old.
Yeah,
getting old. Like I said, having Alexis talk to her, having come from, a crazy family, whatever. that was very cool. That was the first kind of step in there. What are you still doing in here? Get out. She's like, oh my God. She was like, made me laugh when she's on the floor putting that thing. I'm like, okay, but they need to show her up a little more. So I don't mind villains and vixens. We don't mind that. We love that. I'd love to have some villains.
But the thing that was dumb about that scene was the article, what she grabs out of that box after she takes way too long going through that box when Alexis is on the phone. But all she's able to grab, it was just, an article about Heather Weber. Like, she already knows Heather Weber's her mom. She doesn't need that article. So what was that? What was the whole point of that scene? Like, give me a new piece of information that we don't know. To like give her like, ooh, let me go find out what this is all about.
Well, it's the same thing with Willow on the other side of the spectrum. I wish I could care. I want to care about Willow. I just don't.
You didn't care about her being well enough to see one of Wiley's baseball games? Oof. I don't just we don't talk about that anymore. And also the huge turnaround of the Davis sisters all of a sudden. Now they're all lovey-dovey. There was that big fight for a second. I thought it was very cool. But now all of a sudden, they're all these lovey, love. And now they're going back to heading towards that whole surrogacy thing, I think. Well, of course, because that's like the obstacle. It's like, we got to throw that monkey in the wrench. We can't just go directly there, which is like, okay, whatever. But I will say that they've recast Molly again. This one I feel like fits more of a piece with the other Davis sisters.
Kinda. It's tough, kids. I'm like, the other Molly bugged the crap out of me, the original, of course, but she was Molly. She was Molly. These last two Mollys, I'm just tolerating them. Basically, what's happening for me. I'm just like, I'm tolerating them. That's all. I'm just tolerating her. I don't care if she has a kid or not. I wish I did. I don't really. The storyline means nothing to me. I'm not invested in them at all, and TJ and Molly at all. Christina, I'm more interested in Christina because even though I don't care for Kate Ramsey, but I am invested in seeing because they're showing her more and more. Again, they don't know how to write for her either. I liked her talk with her father. I also liked her talk with her sisters. I like that she's trying to figure this out. I just would love to see, and when her and Christina talk about Kiefer, which again, hadn't about him in years either, they brought him up. I don't mind that. It's like let's give attention to Christina, another legacy character, major part of the family. I almost wish they do like Murphy Brown and be different Molly every week. He's like secretaries, different Molly every week, just different Molly. That would be hilarious. And have some famous folks come in and play Molly for a week. It would be hilarious. Different Molly every week, different Molly. Like, wow, almost like Roseanne. You look different, to the Beckys. Like, why not? This is how we do it. I'll come play Molly one week. Just like, why not? Everybody just rotates in. We all play Molly.
That would be phenomenal. That would be hilarious. And I would actually would want to watch. That's what makes me laugh. Then I would actually want to watch it, whatever. I still think Felix's sister should come back with TJ's kid. That's something else too, right? From a long time ago, Jason. Yes. I forgot Felix had a sister. And they slept, they hung out together. I forgot about that. Yes. TJ is wasted. I agree. I don't think he's hot, but he's wasted. And I actually like another storylines where he's being a doctor. I don't really care for him. Yeah. Well, when they write TJ as just being so like emotionally, overwhelmed,
Yes.
as on doctor stuff, I'm like, okay, let's dial this back a little bit. Yes, I know it's your uncle. Okay, got it. Whatever. But yikes.
Right.
But it's like going back to like TJ and Molly for a second. It's like when you did Dante and Lulu and Maxie and the surrogacy thing there, it mattered more to us because there are more front burner characters. They'd been around for a while. We were invested in all of them. Yes. So that storyline meant more. to the viewer, and I think to those characters, because it was, we were bringing a lot to it as well. This, like you're saying, James, we rarely see Molly and TJ, so to all of a sudden like drop this on the surrogacy and expect us to really feel like it matters to TJ and Molly, like, do we care? We rarely see them. Like, why are we caring? It just doesn't have the same impact. So I think this is not going to hold a candle to the Dante, Maxie, and Lulu stuff, just because we don't see them enough.
Completely agree, Frank. Completely agree. So, folks, I have no ass, so my butt hurts. So we're going to end the show now. We've been on for over an hour or so.
Oh,
we talked about everything, Frank. At this point, I can't sit here anymore. My butt is hurting today because I went to work out this morning and my butt hurts.
do you need a little deep tissue rub there?
I do, Frank. Get on over here, Frank. Get over here.
On my way.
The home door is open. Come on through. Come on through, folks. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thanks for making this the number one show on our network. Frank and I totally appreciate it. We won't be here next week, Frank. Sorry, I won't be here next week.
What?
I know. It's crazy.
Why?
I know. Other things are happening. It's all happening. I'm crowning. No, there's other things happening. The following week we'll be back. And all through August, we'll be here all through August. But I have one thing I have to do next week. Because a lot of folks are coming to town. And I have things to do with them next week. So
it's like a visit like with the Pope. If you're coming to LA, you've got to see James Lott Jr.
I told, and Frank was what I told everybody. If you're coming to town for the Y&R and Boulder or if you're here for GH Convention that was this weekend, I'm not coming to the Valley to come see you. So if you want to see me, you have to be in Los Angeles.
There you go.
That Valley is too hot compared to LA. And I live 40 miles away, 30 miles away. I'm not going out there.
No. Meet James at the Randy's Donuts. Or if you want to eat upscale, the Sizzler nearby.
There are two Sizzlers by my house. The one on Sepulveda and my Fox Hills. So yes, but we will be here in 2 weeks. So we'll be back. Seriously, we'll be back. We'll talk about all the weeks of the show. I'm sure not much will happen. Whatever. It'll take forever to get it. It's not the same story. Maybe I'll go by fast this week. Maybe there'll be some good pacing again this week. We hope that happens. Frank, where can they find you if they want to talk to you?
Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Happy Go Jackie, everybody.
Thank you.
Just chat with me. Sure. Let's do it.
We have a Facebook page, which is Jason Spotlights. Almost 5,000 people on there. So please, I'm gonna try to do more on there. I was like, I know how to be that many people on there. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. So I'll post some more stuff on there. I trust we will. This week is the premiere of The Email Season 3. It is hilarious. Co-starring Candace Mack. And she's really funny in it. And that comes out August 2nd. So check that out. And we just wrapped Season 2, a rapid read of the Speedster, co-starring Frank Moran. Go ahead and check that out. All 5 episodes. It's hilarious also. Check it out. Frank is funny in it. Thank you, Frank, in there. I know. I'll email you, Frank. Yeah, email Frank. Well, I don't know if he's going to answer you, but email him.
Sure.
Email him. That'll be great. And those of you guys who had fun with GH Convention, I hope you had a good time. And those who are coming for the Y&R and Bold Beautiful next weekend, travel safe. Everyone, if you're in a hot weather situation, please stay hydrated. And I always say, go to the shade. Why, Frank? Because it's always cooler in the shade.